You know what? Let's not do the corny entrance. Nobody wants to see the corny entrance. No. I thought I'd do some special grand entrance for the 100th episode. Nobody wants that. Instead, everybody wants 2,649 clues have come and gone. But 100 new trivia questions are headed your way as part of this, the biggest episode in the history of Disney 100 Jeopardy, episode 100. Welcome in. As always, I am your host, Bryan Perri. Some new graphics right there. And thank you so much for joining me. Really, thank you to every single person who has joined me on this ridiculous journey over the last year and a half. Over 500 different Disney Jeopardy categories have been played. Shout out to the club DJ members, especially you guys. I could not continue doing this show over the last 6 months or so without you. So I appreciate everyone so much more than you realize. And I have some exciting news regarding the future of this show that's coming up in a little bit. But first, we got a game to play because this game includes 100 clues, which you can see on the rules screen right there. If you want to cheat, go right ahead. I couldn't care less. Be my guest. Now, the game will break down like this. It will be split into 4 different quarters of 25 clues each. At the end of each quarter, players will bank their points and then restart at 0 in the ensuing quarter. After 100 clues are read, meaning all 4 quarters are played, you will combine your 4 different point totals to get your grand total. Another rule that you see right there will not be a daily double in this game. And as for the categories, here they are. 20 different ones listed in alphabetical order. They are sprinkled all throughout the game. And Happy New Year to everybody out there. Let's hope that 2025 is our greatest year yet. Okay, it is now time for the first quarter and the reveal of the first 5 categories we'll be playing. First up, it's a category all about the man, Walt Disney. Now, if you are a Club DJ member, you know I put up a poll last week asking you what you wanted to be the last clue presented in this game, aka the most valuable clue. You said Mickey Mouse over Walt Disney, so instead Walt Disney will open up the game with the first clue. We've got ways to go before the end though. The second category you'll be playing, villain silhouettes, as followed by title characters. And it's Disneyland as your first theme park category of the week. And the final category of the first quarter will be songs in reverse. So there you go, your first 5 categories have been revealed, which means it is now time for the cupcake round. Each of these clues are worth just 20 points each because the point system is a little different. As we take a look at the board, 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100 are your point totals. They will stay the same throughout the game. Let's get episode 100 underway with our first clue. It's Walt Disney for 20. Walt's middle name. What is Elias? Your second clue is a villain silhouette. You'll have to identify who the baddie is. That, of course, is Captain Hook.
Off that Peter Pan.
Clue number 3 out of 100 brings us to title characters. The only alien to have his name in the title of a Disney feature animation film. Who is Stitch? Keep the cupcake round rolling. Here comes Disneyland's first clue. The year Disneyland opened. Well, if you know anything about that opening day, you know it was pretty much a disaster. You had melting tar, asphalt, people with counterfeit tickets, way too many people showing up, and ultimately, it resulted in the happiest place on earth. It's turning 70 this year because it opened in 1955. Final clue of the first of 4 cupcake rounds brings us to songs in reverse. I'll play you the tune twice. You have to tell me what song it is.
See the session red book, Mr. See the session red book. See the session red book, Mr. See the session red book.
And that song was The Bare Necessities from The Jungle Book.
The assassin rat walk Mr. The assassin rat often look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Cupcake round complete, and don't worry, as the game gets a little harder, we will reset with a new cupcake round at the start of every quarter. Let's move on to the 40-point round now, though. And as I always say, boost that difficulty a little bit. We're back to Walt. It wasn't Walt who changed the Big Cheese's name to Mickey, but this person instead. Who is his wife Lillian. Of course, Mickey's name was originally Mortimer, and then Mortimer became a character in his own right. A very strange, bizarre, creepy character. Not quite the Mickey we know and love. We move on to another villain silhouette. Ooh, this is an iconic one. Can you name who it is? That, of course, is Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. On to our second title character of the game. The first Pixar film to include a character's name in the title. That will be 2003's Finding Nemo.
So, which one is it?
I'm from the ocean.
Ah, the ocean. The ocean! Ah!
We are headed to Anaheim, California. It's Disneyland for 40 points. Name every land inside Disneyland Park that includes land in its name. Well, you've got 4 of them. The correct answer is Adventureland, Tomorrowland, Frontierland, and Fantasyland. That's some more than what I almost forgot it. Here comes your second song in reverse. This one's worth 40. Hopefully you didn't have to dig too deep in order to find that answer. The correct answer is Dig a Little Deeper from Princess and the Frog. All right, 10% through the game. I'm sure you're acing it. Will anybody go 100 for 100? If you say you do, I don't believe you. No chance. No chance. Here comes the 60-point round. We once again begin with Walt. Walt's private Disneyland apartment can be found here in the park. What is above the fire station? If you ever go to the park, make sure you stop over by the fire station, look up, and see the apartment window with a lamp kept on to represent that Walt will always be there. Here comes villain silhouettes for the third time. That is Shere Khan from The Jungle Book. We're about to approach the halfway point of the first quarter. It's the 60-point clue for title characters. The most recent Disney feature animation film to have a character's name in the title. On to Disneyland for the third time. Which of the following 3 rides opened at Disneyland Resort before opening at Walt Disney World Resort? Was it Big Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain, or The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh? It's crazy to think that Space Mountain is such an iconic ride at Disney parks, but the original didn't belong to the original Disney park. No, it opened in the Magic Kingdom in 1975, then opened at Disneyland in 77. Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, I believe, opened late 90s, 99 at Magic Kingdom, and then it wasn't until 2003 at Disneyland, which leaves one answer at being Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
It could only happen at Disneyland.
Here comes your third song in reverse. It's worth 60 points. If you didn't get it, don't kick yourself. It just happens to be Disney's most popular song of all time. Did I give it away? Correct answer is Let It Go. One round remains before the dangerous 100s. It's the 80-point round. Here comes Walt for the fourth time. It wasn't until he was 4 when Walt Disney moved to Marceline, Missouri. He was first born in this American city. What is Chicago?
Walt Disney was born in Chicago, the fourth of 5 children, on December 5th, 1901.
Here comes your fourth villain silhouette of the game. This one's worth 80 points. Who is Prince John? I'd have to get that robe. Here comes title characters for 80. The only 2 characters to have their names featured multiple times in different Disney feature animation film titles. Here comes Disneyland for 80 points. The 4 lands found in Disneyland that are not found in Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. All right, so bear with me. I wrote 100 different Disney questions over the last day and a half. Now I'm trying to remember all the answers. So the answer to this one, obviously I mentioned it's 4. You've got the new Bayou Country, which is renamed from Critter Country, that is not found in the Magic Kingdom. You also have Mickey's Toontown in the back of the park. May she rest in peace, no longer at the Magic Kingdom. New Orleans Square, which is where Pirates of the Caribbean is in Disneyland, is not in the Magic Kingdom. And then Galaxy's Edge, or Black Spire Outpost, the Star Wars land, is found in Disneyland, but not the Magic Kingdom. No, in Walt Disney World, it is found in Hollywood Studios. So there you go. There's your 4. Here comes the final clue before the 100s of the first quarter. It's songs in reverse. Very emotional song right there. The correct answer comes from Tarzan, and it is You'll Be in My Heart. "20 clues are down and 80 remain. But before we get to 75 of them, it's now time for the most overly dramatic soundtrack infused unnecessarily spotlighted part of the first quarter, the 100-point round. Hit it. Yes, if you're wondering, I will be doing that at the end of every single quarter. Because, why not? We only have a 100th episode one time. It's time for Walt's final clue, and it's worth 100. After Walt forged his passport to enlist in the Red Cross Ambulance Corps, he went to this country in 1918 and was put to work driving ambulances or chauffeuring important officers. Where is France? Here comes your second 100-point clue of the game. It belongs to villain silhouettes. Who is Madame Mim? Title characters now for 100 points. This Disney film, released in 1973, takes a classic tale and replaces all the humans with anthropomorphic animals. What is Robin Hood?
Help! Robin, help!
Marion, my love, will you marry me?
Oh, darling, I thought you'd never ask me.
Final clue from Disneyland. Sad day. Goes like this. 1959 saw a huge Disneyland expansion that included the opening of these 3 attractions. What are the Submarine Voyage, the Matterhorn, and my personal favorite out of the 3, the monorail.
There it is, the first monorail in America.
Let's finish off the first quarter of the game with your final song in reverse. That's the first time we had to reach into the archives for a non-animated movie. That song comes from 2007's Enchanted, and it was That's How You Know. That buzzer right there means the first quarter is officially over. How you feeling? Feeling good? You have a lot of points. Remember, you bank all the points that you've accumulated so far. If you have negative points, guess what? You get to accumulate your negative points. You'll subtract that point total from your grand total at the end of the game. Most importantly, though, the second quarter, everyone starts with a big, fat 0. If you're ready to carry over that terrible momentum you don't have or great momentum you do have from going 25 for 25, let's get it underway. It's the second quarter of the game. Let's see the 5 categories you'll be playing. We'll start off with old school live action. This is all about Disney original films, not animated ones, but live action ones that came out prior to the 1990s. After that, it's the return of the fan favorite Face Mash. I will take my subpar Photoshop skills and combine 2 Disney characters' faces. You'll have to tell me who those characters are before I induce a nightmare. The third category is Pixar Years. Your second theme park category will be Walt Disney World. And finally, we'll finish off the second quarter with a little rhyme time. As we get the second quarter underway, I have to tell you it's presented by DisneyJeopardy.com's Bunny Eclipse Shop, where you can scoop up your favorite Disney Jeopardy-inspired t-shirts. Right, Bunny? You're a great graphic designer. Okay, it's time for our second cupcake round of the game. All these clues are worth just 20 points. We start with old school live action. Mary Poppins famously sings that this helps with medicine going down. What is a spoonful of sugar?
A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Okay, we're getting ready for our first face mash of the game. If you have children around, you might want to cover their eyes because this is going to be terrifying. Don't say I didn't warn you. Here we go. It's worth 20 points. Well, I did my best. What 2 characters are combined here? Correct answer is Wade from Elemental and Sully from Monsters, Inc. Oh, it gets better, trust me. On to Pixar Years for 20 points. The year Toy Story came out. First Pixar feature-length film came out in 1995.
And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Hello? Oh, yeah.
Here comes Walt Disney World for the first time. The opening day name for Hollywood Studios. Lasted more than 2 decades, and a lot of us still call it this. The correct answer is MGM Studios.
It's the world's premier movie attraction, the Disney MGM Studios theme park in Florida.
Let's finish off cupcake round number 2 with a little rhyme time. Mater and Sally call the first part home, while Pinocchio sings about not having any for the second part. Correct answer is Radiator Springs and Strings. Hope you're doing well. Only 70 clues to go as we enter the 40-point round in quarter number 2. We're back to old school live action. This groundbreaking film from 1982 led to a sequel in 2010 and an upcoming third film starring Jared Leto. What is Tron? Time for Face Mash number 2. Let's see if you get it. This one was worth 40 points, and as you can tell, combined two horses. What do we have? We have Angus from Brave and Maximus from Tangled. On to Pixar years for the second time. And I'm asking you when Onward came out. The answer here is imprinted into my brain because I remember specifically that Onward was the final movie I saw in theaters before theaters shut down for COVID. So the correct answer is 2020. Here comes Walt Disney World for 40 points. What EPCOT originally stood for? And despite the fact that EPCOT turned out to be my favorite Walt Disney World park, it still kills me that we never got the true EPCOT. Which EPCOT am I talking about? Well, that would be the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. The city of EPCOT.
Experimental prototype community of tomorrow. Here it is in larger scale. It will be a community of tomorrow that will never be completed.
Let's finish off the 40s with rhyme time. A pair of rescue rangers combined with Where You Hear, por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. I've been practicing my por favor, manténganses for the last 25 years or so, so my goal is to get better each and every day. Where do you hear that? You hear that on the monorail, and you combine monorail with Chip and Dale. That's got to be the most famous pre-recorded announcement at a Disney park, right? Everybody remembers that. I mean, they have shirts made off of it. Wildest Ride in the Wilderness, I guess, could give it a run for its money, but I'm going with manténganse alejado.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
All right, let's move on to the third round of quarter number 2. It's the 60-point round, and it begins with old school live action. Angela Lansbury stars as a witch in training in this 1971 film that was delayed by Disney due to its similarities to Mary Poppins. What is Bedknobs and Broomsticks?
Road, road, street where the riches of ages are stowed.
Here we go with Face Smash number 3. Oh, your boy's getting pretty good. I think this was my first Face Smash I've ever done, where I finished it and I was like, it's not that bad. Tell me who the two characters are. Who are Raya and Asha from Wish? We hit the halfway point of the second quarter. It's Pixar years for 60. A Bug's Life. It was Pixar's second feature-length movie, coming out 3 years after Toy Story. The correct answer is 1998.
So where is it? Where's my food?
Let's head to Flow Rida for Walt Disney World's third clue of the game. The Magic Kingdom monorail loop currently stops at 3 different resorts. This is the one resort out of the 3 that didn't open the same year as Magic Kingdom. As a refresher, the monorail loop stops at the Transportation and Ticket Center in Magic Kingdom, but it also stops at these 3 resorts: the Contemporary Resort, Polynesian, and Grand Floridian. Out of those 3, Polynesian and Contemporary opened in 71 along with the Magic Kingdom, but the Grand Floridian did not. In fact, the Grand Floridian wasn't part of the original plans for Walt Disney World. That piece of land was supposed to be a different resort entirely. Instead, GFLA opened in 1988. We finish off the third round of the second quarter with rhyme time. The school teacher who falls victim to the Headless Horseman, and what Steamboat Willie became at the start of 2024. At school teacher, schoolmaster, whatever you want to call him, his full name was Ichabod Crane. And what happened to Steamboat Willie at the beginning of 2024? Well, it became public domain. Okay, we're winding down here in the first half of episode 100. Anybody out there 40 for 40? Anyone acing this game so far? Perfect game going? Let's see if it's broken up with this clue from old school live action. It's worth 80 points. Herbie, the famous car originally from the Love Bug, sports this number. Herbie rocks number 53. We move on to Face Mash for the fourth time. Okay, the funny Face Mashes are back. Can you tell me who these two characters are? Well, either Prince Eric smells something terrible on the beach, or Drizella decided to cut her hair. Those are the two characters, though. Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid and Drizella from Cinderella. Here we go with Pixar years for the fourth time. Toy Story 3. Correct answer is 2010.
At last, I'm gonna get played with!
Rex?
Come to Papa!
We're going on a trip around the world. Walt Disney World, that is. It's worth 80 points. Kali River Rapids was originally named this before changing its name shortly before opening at Animal Kingdom. I actually prefer the old name, the name they were using while the ride was being constructed, because I love tigers. Tigers are top 5 animal for me. Correct answer is Tiger Rapids Run. And here we go with rhyme time for 80 points. Mulan's other name and your host for the Tower of Terror. Well, if you've seen Mulan, you likely remember that at one point she goes by Ping in disguise. And if you enter the Tower of Terror, or should I say the Twilight Zone, inside the library you are greeted by Rod Serling. So we've got Ping and Serling. Would you look at that? 45 clues are down and 55 remain. But before we get to 50 of those, you know what time it is for the second time today. It is time for the most overly dramatic soundtrack infused unnecessarily spotlighted part of the second quarter, the 100-point round. Hit it. As we approach halftime, we've got 5 clues to go. Let's see how you do. Old school live action kicks it off. The name of Dorothy's talking chicken in 1985's Return to Oz. Who is Bellina?
Look, Bellina. It's a lunch pail tree.
What happened to breakfast?
Now I know we're in Oz.
Don't cry because it's over, smile because I included Face Smash. It's your final Face Smash of the game, and it's worth 100 points. You name who these two characters are. All right, I'll be honest, as I zoom in here, I probably could have done a better job with Russell's forehead. I could have included more of it, but yes, that is Russell. His face planted on Penny from Bolt. Here comes Pixar years for 100 points. The year Monsters University came out. If you saw it in theaters, you saw it in 2013.
Say hooray!
Hooray! I can't believe it. I'm officially a college student!
Clue 49 is worth 100 points and is bringing us to Disney World. Or should I say the Disney World that never was. The renderings seen here are for this attraction that never got built, the Magic Kingdom. Absolutely devastating that this was never constructed. Correct answer is the Western River Expedition. And if you are a Disney park fanatic, be sure to look up the history of the Western River Expedition. It would have been so cool. So much work was done to create this ride, and ultimately it never happened, mainly because people got to the Magic Kingdom in Florida the year it opened, its first few years, and said, "Excuse me, where are the pirates?" And Disney panicked and built Pirates of the Caribbean down there, and then eventually Big Thunder became a smaller version of the Western River, and then Splash Mountain, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, very upsetting that this attraction never occurred, as it would have been cool. Not as cool as Beast Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, but that's another story. All right, here we go. Clue number 50 to finish off the first half of episode 100. It's rhyme time. High School Musical's director and the name of one of the Space Mountain tracks in the Magic Kingdom. You've got Kenny Ortega and Omega. And that horn means we have reached halftime. Be sure to bank the points you acquired in quarter number 2, just like you did after quarter number 1. You should have 2 different point totals right now. If you need to take a break, I've got great news for you. It is time for the first ever Disney 100 Jeopardy halftime show. And there you go. What'd you think of the halftime show? I had to Disneyfy it a little bit, you know. I think we all know where that halftime show originated from, but now it has a little Disney spin on it. Okay, it's time for the second half of the game. It begins with the third quarter. Let's check out what categories you'll be playing right now. And there you go, the highly requested Bryan's Terrible Drawings makes its return to Disney 100 Jeopardy. Who named this? Who named this category? Bryan's Terrible Drawing. Very, very insulting. If you weren't here for the first time I did this category, I draw a famous scene from a Disney or Pixar movie, and you have to tell me what scene I am depicting. I think the drawings are pretty good. In fact, the drawings are so good, shout out to George, Ezra, and Rebecca, who reached out to me a few months ago asking if they could have my drawings from that episode. I sent them over, and they hung them up. Look at that. Fine art, people. You guys are the best. Oh, man. So funny. Anyway, Bryan's Drawings, we'll call it, makes its return in episode 100. The second category is video game screenshots. After that, MCU, Who Said That? Theme park category number 3 is all about animatronics. And the final category in the third quarter is show themes. All right, let's kick off the second half with the cupcake round for the third time. As the previous 2 have been, this is filled with 20-point clues. There we go. I changed the category name. Bryan's Fine Art. We'll start it off for 20 points. No, that is not an actual screenshot from a Disney film. Instead, it is my artwork. What scene did I draw here? Well, if you look closely, you'll notice there's a big table in the middle of the artwork, and it's flanked by Mad Hatter and Alice. So this scene is when Alice meets the Mad Hatter.
Oh, that was lovely.
And now, my dear, you were saying that you would like to think... Pardon me.
Here's video game screenshots for 20 points. What game is this? That is Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Boy, I'm glad to see you.
Oops, jump scare. I wanted to include it at some point in the show. We move on to the third clue of the second half. It's time for MCU Who? Avengers Assemble. I still argue that this moment right here when these words were said is the greatest moment in movie theater history, at least in my lifetime. It was spoken during Endgame by Captain America.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Here comes animatronics for the first time. It's worth 20 points. Where can you spot this bad boy? Well, you can't tell in the still photo right here, but he actually moves, which means he does not belong to Expedition Everest. No, he belongs to the Matterhorn. Here we go with show themes for the first time. Whether or not it's intended for kids, I think it's one of the greatest shows of the last decade on television. The correct answer is Bluey. Okay, that's it for the cupcake round. Here comes the second round. We're back to my fine artwork. Ooh, this could be a little tough. Can you name what scene this is? Well, if you look closely, you might notice the tiny mouse on top of the flying elephant. That is Timothy Q. Mouse, aka my favorite Disney character ever. But yes, this is the scene where Dumbo flies at the end of his film. Look at the trampoline at the bottom held by the clowns. You've got the building over there. And of course, the feather. Don't forget the feather as well. Here comes video game screenshots for the second time. This one's worth 40. What game is this? I believe it's the greatest Disney video game of all time. That's because I'm a Disney Parks person. If you're a Disney Parks person, you have to check it out as well. The correct answer is Disneyland Adventures. MCU Who for 40 is headed your way. If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it. These words were spoken to Spider-Man by Iron Man, aka Tony Stark.
Yeah, let's have
No, please, Mr.
Let's
Stark,
have it.
you don't understand. This is all I have. I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it.
Here comes animatronics for the second time. Can you name who this is? Well, I already told you about DisneyJeopardy.com's Bunny Eclipse shop, which of course is named after my dog, Bunny Eclipse, who is named after this guy, Sunny Eclipse. Here comes your second show theme of the game. Well, you guys out there who have been watching Disney 100 Jeopardy from the beginning got me into this show. I had never seen a second of it. It was highly requested in the comments section, so I eventually included a category for it. And then I fell in love with the show. I think it's so good. And so is its theme. The correct answer is Gravity Falls. All right, you might want to brace yourself for Brian's fine art number 3. It's worth 60 points and could make you shed a tear. Don't say I didn't warn you. Can you name what scene this is? Well, if the tears aren't flowing down your face yet, you might have a problem because this was a very, very tragic scene. As we take a look at the artwork again, that is the murderous barracuda from Finding Nemo staring down Marlin, Nemo's dad. You can spot Nemo right there. I'll break out the telestrator like I'm John Madden. Those aren't bubbles around the barracuda, by the way. Those are all of Nemo's siblings. You can also see Nemo's house in the back. On to video game screenshots for the third time. What online game is this? That was Club Penguin. It's time for MCU Who for the third time. He's a friend from work. Spoken by Thor when he's talking about the Hulk.
Hey! We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Here comes animatronics for the third time. Where can you spot these three? Or three. Where can you spot this animatronic? We actually can't spot it anymore. It was part of Maelstrom at EPCOT.
I was wondering, is there anything in Norway tradition that would be considered scary?
Oh yeah, we have the trolls.
I smell humans!
Listen up, it's time for your third show theme. I've mentioned this show a few times over the course of Disney 100 Jeopardy's 99 episodes because it is probably my favorite show currently running. The correct answer is the Disney-owned Hulu original, Only Murders in the Building. So good. Love it so much. Give it a shot. Here comes Brian's fine art for the fourth time. This one's worth 80. Oh my goodness, I forgot about this. Yeah, look, if the Barracuda artwork didn't make you cry, this definitely should, for multiple reasons. We take a look at it again. You see a bunch of sad faces. You know what? I'm giving you enough clues already. Name the scene. It's honestly what I believe to be the most traumatizing scene in the history of a Pixar film. I'll never forget the moment I watched Woody and his friends accept their fate in the incinerator. Yes, we've got Ham on the left, and we've got Slinky, Woody with his hat, Buzz right there, he's got his buttons, Jessie, and I guess it kind of looks like a witch hat, but yeah, Jessie and her hat, and then Bullseye at the end. You've got the flames, are all about to accept their fate. Here comes video game screenshots for the fourth time. This one's worth 80. What game are you playing if this is on your screen? Who needs Mario Kart when you've got the Walt Disney World Magical Racing Tour? Time for the 80-point clue from MCU Who. Yeah, I'll have to agree with the Walking Thesaurus on that one. This guy's always cracking jokes, can never be serious. The correct answer is Star-Lord, aka Peter Quill.
I have a plan! I have a plan!
Cease your yammering and relieve us from this irksome confinement.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with the Walking Thesaurus on that one.
Do not ever call me a thesaurus.
The fourth animatronic is upon you. It's worth 80 points. What ride are you on if you see this animatronic? It's another attraction that no longer stands. It's the alien scene from the Great Movie Ride.
I don't like the sound of that.
Warning, remain in your vehicle. The area you are entering is extremely dangerous.
Here comes your fourth show theme. Let's see how you do.
Life is like a hurricane here in.
That theme song belongs to DuckTales.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg.
Just like that, 70 clues are down, 30 remain. But before we get to the fourth quarter and the final 25 clues, you know what time it is. For the third time today and the only time in the third quarter, it is time for the most overly dramatic soundtrack infused unnecessarily spotlighted part of the game, the 1,100-point round. Hit it. It was bound to happen. I knew I was going to mess it up at some point. It's not the 1,000-point round. It's the 100-point round. And it begins with my fine art for the final time. I'm not giving you any hints. What scene is this? Well, if you know me well, you know that my favorite Disney film ever is Zootopia, and that is exactly what I drew right here. What scene specifically? Well, it's the scene when Gazelle is being interviewed on the news about the divide between predators and prey in her beloved city.
This is not the Zootopia I know. The Zootopia I know is better than this.
Here comes video game screenshots for the final time. What game are you playing if you see this? Correct answer is Disney's Guilty Party. It's time for your final MCU quote. It's MCU Who for 100. But what is grief if not love persevering? Spoken by Vision in WandaVision.
I've never experienced loss because I've never had a loved one to lose. But what is grief if not love persevering?
2 clues on the board before the 4th quarter. Here comes animatronics the final time. If you spot this cute little monkey, what ride are you on? First of all, you're overseas in Hong Kong and you're taking part in Mystic Manor, what I believe to be the... I don't know if it's the greatest international Disney ride, but it's definitely top 3. That monkey, by the way, his name is Albert. Let's beat the buzzer and finish off the 3rd quarter with your final show theme. We're going old school with this one. Well, I guess it's not really old school. It's not that old, but it's not new school either. You know what? It's just school. In fact, it's a school-related theme. The correct answer is recess. All right, folks, 75 clues down. Make sure you bank the points you just acquired in the 3rd quarter. You should have 3 different point totals. We all know it all comes down to this. It's the 4th quarter where wins become losses and losses become wins. Very, very dramatic. All right, let's check out the categories that you'll be playing to finish off episode 100. First up, it's Know Your Lyrics. I will read you and attempt to not sing them. No promises, but I will read you lyrics from a Disney song. You have to tell me what song they are from. The 2nd category you'll be playing, Star Wars Trilogy. This is all about the Disney Star Wars Trilogy. The 3rd category, Disney Cruise Line. The 4th category is your final theme park category of the game. It's International Parks. And the 5th and final category of episode 100 is It's Your Line. I will play you a clip from a Disney movie, then pause it, and you have to tell me what the next line is. But wait a second, I did put up that Club DJ poll last week about what the final clue should be about, and you guys voted Mickey Mouse, so how am I going to squeeze it in? Oh, that's right. This game isn't 100 clues, it's 101 clues, because there will be a final Jeopardy category all about Mickey Mouse. Also, that number, 101, pretty significant. I'll tell you why right before the 100-point round of the 4th quarter. Let's get this 4th quarter started, though, with a little cupcake action. It's your final cupcake round of the game, and it begins with Know Your Lyrics. He told me my fish would die and the next day dead. It is almost impossible not to sing these lyrics. The correct answer is, we don't talk about Bruno from Encanto.
He told me my fish would die the next day. Dead. No, no.
Here comes Star Wars Trilogy, the first time. The 3 characters with the most screen time in the sequel trilogy. Who are Rey, Finn, and Kylo Ren? Sound the horn, it's time for some DCL for 20 points. The number of Disney Cruise Line ships currently sailing as of January 2025. We'll be adding 2 ships later in the year, but as of now, Disney Cruise Line has 6 ships currently sailing. Here comes International Parks for 20 points. This Disney resort is home to the only Disney monorail that charges you to ride it. What is Tokyo Disney Resort? It's time for you to speak your lines. It's your line for the first time.
Ohana means family. Family means...
All right, there you go. What's the next line? And here is your correct answer.
Family means nobody
gets left behind.
or forgotten.
Oh man, it is getting intense. We've played 80 clues already. Let's move on to clue number 81. It's worth 40, and it's some Disney lyrics. The water is always changing, always flowing. Those lyrics are from Pocahontas. It's just around the river bend.
The water's always changing, always flowing.
Star Wars trilogy for 40 points now. The chrome-wearing commander of the stormtroopers. I remember after The Force Awakens, I spent so much time hanging out with this character on Disney Cruise Line. I was so excited for the future of Captain Phasma, and then Last Jedi happened. I think she actually got less screen time in that movie.
You remember me?
FN 2187.
Not anymore. The name's Finn, and I'm in charge. I'm in charge now, Phasma. I'm in charge. Bring it down. Bring it down.
Speaking of Cruise Line, here comes DCL's second clue. The name of the water coaster on the Disney Dream and Disney Fantasy. Well, now on the newer ships, we've got the Aqua Mouse, but before that, it was all about the Aqua Duck. Here comes International Parks for the second time. It's worth 40. The only international Disney resort to not feature a downtown Disney-inspired shopping district. You won't find one in Hong Kong. Here comes the second It's Your Line clue.
Look in that mirror. You know what I see? I see a strong, confident, beautiful young lady.
The video is paused. What's the next line? One of the funniest lines in a Disney movie ever, in my opinion. The correct answer is this.
Oh, look, you're here too. I'm just teasing. Stop taking everything so seriously.
Your final 60-point round of the game is about to get underway. Let's see how well you know your lyrics. There's 1,000 reasons I should go about my day. Correct answer comes from Frozen 2, and it's sung by Queen Elsa. The correct answer is Into the Unknown.
There's 1,000 reasons I should go about my day.
Here comes Star Wars Trilogy for 60 points. The planet that Rey is from. What is Jakku? Let's go with Disney Cruise Line for 60 now. The year the Disney Magic set sail as the first ship in the fleet. The year was 1998. Here comes International Parks for 60 points. The number of non-seasonal iterations of Paris's version of Space Mountain. So I mean things that lasted more than a couple of months. Had to last at least a few years. Correct answer is 3. We go back to 1995 when Space Mountain opened in Paris. A lot of people believe this was the greatest version of Space Mountain ever to exist. It was titled From Earth to the Moon, inspired by Jules Verne. 10 years later, it became Space Mountain Mission 2, and now it is Hyperspace Mountain. We're finishing off the 60s with It's Your Line.
He doesn't walk very good, does he?
Thumper, what did your father tell you this morning?
There you go. What's the next line? And here is your answer.
If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
Okay, if there was a 2-minute warning in this game, this would be the time. Only 10 clues remain before Final Jeopardy in episode 100. We start the 80s off with some lyrics. With good breeding and a tiny waist. Hey, do not attach these lyrics to me, all right? I didn't write these lyrics. Nope, these are Disney lyrics. Don't come after me. I didn't do it. If you know these lyrics, then you know they are from Honor to Us All in Mulan.
With good breeding and a tiny waist, you'll bring honor to us all.
All right, here comes Star Wars Trilogy for 80 points. Rey first sees Luke's lightsaber in The Force Awakens in the basement of this character's tavern. Who is Maz Kanata?
You are right back in the mess.
Maz, I need you to get this droid to Leia.
No.
Here comes DCL, Brady. This place on board of each Disney ship is designated for children ages 3 to 10. What is the Oceaneer Club? We are winding down. Here comes International Parks for 80 points. The resort receiving Disney's first rideable Lion King attraction. It's honestly insane that it is 2025 and we have not yet had a rideable Lion King attraction. Many would say that The Lion King was the greatest Disney film of all time and it didn't have a rideable attraction. I know we still have shows and we had old shows back in the day, but insane. Either way, correct answer brings us to Paris. That's right, it's going to Disney Paris. Specifically, it's going to the now renamed Disney Adventure World. Last clue before the final 100-point round of the game. Will you know the next line?
Very funny. So what now? I reckon you want a kiss?
And here it is.
Kissing would be nice, yes?
95 clues are down and 6 remain. But before we get to Final Jeopardy, got an announcement to make. No, there are not 100 clues in this game. Like I mentioned before, there are 101 clues in this game. And I would say that's apropos because regarding the future of this show, there will be an episode 101. That's right, I'm excited to announce that Disney 100 Jeopardy will return with a new look, new graphics, and some new features that I am thrilled to tell you about. The show will return later in January, and we are going to keep this train chugging along the track, all thanks to you guys. As long as you guys keep watching the show, I'll keep banging these out, but I do need some help. So beginning on January 10th, you can log on to DisneyJeopardy.com and click the new clue page, where I'll give you a list of categories and you guys can send in some suggestions for clues that I can use in future episodes. I've come up with over 2,700 clues in this show's history. It's time for you guys to come up with some of your own. And if you do, I'll be happy to include your name under the clue that you suggest. I can't wait to launch it. Once again, January 10th is when that page launches, and then look for episode 101 later in January. That's right, folks. I ain't going nowhere.
I'm not leaving. The show goes on.
I'm super excited about that, but you should be even more excited about this 100-point round because you know what time it is. It is time for the most overly dramatic, soundtrack-infused, unnecessarily spotlighted part of the game, the 1,000-point round. Oh, I said 1,000 again. Ugh. All the dramatics just for me to botch the point totals in this round. This is the 100-point round. It's the final 5 clues on the board in this game. We begin with Know Your Lyrics for 100, not 1,000, Brian, 100. If happiness was a tangible thing, it would be you. That comes from At All Costs in Wish.
If happiness was a tangible thing, it would be you.
Here comes the Star Wars trilogy for the final time. This member of the First Order reveals himself to be a spy in The Rise of Skywalker. Did it make any sense? No. The correct answer is General Hux.
I'm the spy.
What? Here comes your final clue from Disney Cruise Line. This private peninsula joined Castaway Cay as a second exclusive destination for Disney Cruise Line guests. Just recently added Lookout Cay and Lighthouse Point. Clue 99 is coming at you. Belongs to the international parks. When Shanghai Disney opened in 2016, the resort used the tagline blank Disney and blank Chinese. What is authentically Disney and distinctly Chinese? All right, guys, clue number 100 is here, but remember, it's not the final clue of the game. Let's see if you can speak the correct line.
Pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever!
Huh? And here is your answer.
Why do we even have that lever?
Unbelievable 100 clues have come and gone, but one remains. And it just so happens to be the one clue that will ultimately determine how proud of yourself you will be for the rest of your life. Just kidding, until episode 101 comes out. Remember that? That's happening later this month. No date specifically yet, but it is coming. I promise. Disney 100 Jeopardy will return. It's all about Final Jeopardy right now, though. Let's check out the category. I think you guys know what it is. That's right, I told you, and you guys picked it. It's all about Mickey Mouse. How much do you know about the most famous animated character in the history of mankind? We're about to find out. It's time for you to take those point totals, all 4 of them, combine them, and then make your wager. I just did the math, and theoretically, the most points you could have is 6,000. That's if you went 100 for 100. So, if you're that one person out there who somehow has that much Disney knowledge in your brain, you gotta go all in. 6,000 to win another 6,000, 12,000 points. Can you do it? It's time to read the final clue of episode 100. It's clue 101, all about the boss, the big cheese, Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse will turn this old on his birthday in 2025. Good luck. And time is up. Well, you'll have to know what year Mickey Mouse was born to get this answer correct. We got to go all the way back to the year 1928. You do some quick math. What does that mean? It means in 2025, Mickey Mouse will turn 97. That does it for the biggest episode in Disney 100 Jeopardy history. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate you more than you could ever know. Speaking of appreciation, my appreciation is through the roof for the Club DJ members, because I'll be honest, this show would be done if it wasn't for you guys out there. And in fact, you've kept the train on the track for so long that it's going to keep chugging for episode 101, which I mentioned before will come out later in January. Be sure to log on to DisneyJeopardy.com beginning January 10th. To find that clue suggestion page. When you do suggest your clue, mention that you are a Club DJ member to improve the odds of your clue being selected. In terms of the poll, normally I include the poll right now. I'm not doing it until January 10th, so be sure to log on to the community page as well to find the poll right there for a category that you guys will select. And now, for the 100th time in this show's history, you know the deal. If you like what you saw, do me a favor, subscribe. Click that bell icon. Hello, Bell. I might have to retire it after that one. That was pretty good. This is where you're notified every time we come out with brand new content. And like I mentioned, we'll be coming out with brand new content. I've been your host, Bryan Perri. Thank you so much for staying this long, whether it's since January or just the beginning of this episode. You rock. Till next time, episode 101.
Bye-bye.